Hey Scorpio, things are getting serious in your love life or maybe for your creativity or passion. I see a lot of really interesting and dynamic energy this month, and in fact, March might be the most astrologically significant month of the entire year. We're very much focused on your passion, but there's also a lot of focus on your work and routines, and so you could be very successful if you are applying yourself this month, and your hard work is definitely paying off. If you're excited for this month's reading, then definitely be sure to hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification so you can always stay up to date with what's in the cards for you. For those of you who are brand new to my channel, my name is Michael, and I utilize tarot and tropical astrology to intuit monthly forecasts for your zodiac sign. Now, March is such a pivotal month. I'm actually offering 20% off all of my services if you use the code PIVOTAL on my website. You can find links for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions in the description of this video, as well as links for the astrology blog and all of my other social media accounts. So as I'm shuffling the cards for you, Scorpio, I am going to go over the astrology just a little bit more here. We do have a lot of emphasis in Pisces as we are in Pisces season. We have a big kind of shift happening with Saturn entering into Pisces this month as well. What's very interesting about it is that it's also happening on the full moon in Virgo on March 7th. And so this is making this ingress, this transition much more pronounced. And for you specifically, Scorpio, Pisces energy really does represent your passion, your creativity. And I feel like you're getting a lot more serious in both of these areas of your life, or one or both of these areas of your life, I should say. And it feels like even though there's a lot of this romantic energy kind of around you, Saturn is a realist. And it's very, very grounding. And when it comes to relationships, Saturn doesn't mess around. And so I feel like when it comes to love, if you're single, it's like, I feel like you're not just dating anyone anymore. There's sort of this shift where it's like, you're really serious about who you are connecting with. And if you are in a relationship, it's like you're getting very serious about rekindling a spark or a passion, or it might actually be something that's a bit harder to access, being honest. But this is also a really good time for you to commit to some sort of creative project. And I really do see this, especially with the moon, or I'm sorry, with Venus and Jupiter coming together in the sign of Aries. This is very, very beautiful. You are blessed with anything you have been working on. This is actually happening on the 2nd. So all of this is happening very early on in the month of March. And it does feel like, whatever it is that you've been working towards could be very, very successful, or whatever it is that you start during this time, especially a creative thing, could be very, very successful. You are tying up energies that have been very binding or have made you feel stuck or stagnant or in your head. This could be relationships. This could be other people. I feel like a lot of you have been in kind of this cocoon, so to speak. A lot of you have felt sort of disconnected or stuck in a situation. But this is energy that is coming from the past. So where is this going? Show us clearly, please. Whoa, okay. Wow, Queen of Cups with the 10 of Cups. I love this. I do feel like at the start of this month, there's this touch of something very, very sweet, and it's making you very, very happy. There could be a relationship here. This could be another person, maybe another water sign. Could potentially be Cancer, Pisces, or another Scorpio. But I feel like you are getting closer and closer to realizing your dreams, or like you are realizing things that are bigger and better than you have ever imagined, or ever experienced, I should say. You're very, very happy about something. And it feels like you've been very stuck. And like you've been in sort of the stagnant energy, and all of a sudden you are feeling some sort of shift. And I feel like it's kind of helping you get out of a harder cycle. Something that's also been kind of interesting for you, we have had one of your ruling planet, Mars, in the sign of Gemini for 7 months. And that's a really long time for Mars. And so I feel like there's been a lot of frustration. It's like something has been sort of transformational, and like maybe you've been in this cocoon for a while and that's been really frustrating and really challenging. We also have your other planetary ruler going into a new sign, and that's Pluto. Pluto moves so slowly, you guys. It's been in Capricorn since 2008. And it is now going into Aquarius for the next 3 months before it retrogrades and goes back into Capricorn. But we're basically getting this snapshot of the next 3 years. Or I'm sorry, the next 20 years. Because Pluto's going to be in Aquarius until 2024. And I think that might be the sort of like vision of the happiness to come, the sense of the things to come. And I think it's very, very important to like bottle this essence up and bring it with you, Scorpio, because we do have the moon after this. And I got to be honest, it does feel like you are moving forward. It feels a little unknown, a little uncertain, maybe even a little scary. So I do feel like there is this thing where you are embarking into the unknown. But it's important to trust your intuition. It's important to trust this vision. And I'm going to be honest, the middle of March gets a little murky. And this could very well be why this energy is coming in. And the moon actually does represent Pisces energy. And honestly, it's been coming up in a lot of the readings this month. Tell us more. Spirituality is really, really important. And I think that's going to be more and more true as we get to the end of the month when Mars enters into the sign of Cancer. Some of you could be traveling. Some of you could be going on some sort of spirit quest, or some sort of retreat is probably more accurate. I feel like you need to connect with spirituality more, and like it feels kind of unknown and mysterious to me. It feels like you might be embarking somewhere. And I think a lot of what's shifting for you too is like, there's actually a truth that you are realizing around the full moon in Virgo. And that is the same day that Saturn enters into Pisces. Because Virgo represents your conscious mind. You could be getting a message, you could be hearing something, you could just suddenly have this moment where something makes sense. And it's actually funny because the truth almost makes things more confusing. Or the answer gives you more questions. The truth gives you more questions than answers. That's what I was trying to say. And maybe this is a truth about your personal happiness or about relationships with the Queen of Cups and the Ten of Cups. What else do we have for Scorpio? Or I'm so sorry. The truth that is coming in, I apologize. The full moon in Virgo is not your third house of your mind. It is actually your 11th house of social networks, of friendships. There could be a change in your group. What's actually happening in your third house, we have Pluto entering into Aquarius. It's leaving Capricorn, which is your conscious mind. This is this murky sort of energy, this clarity, this wrapping up of a cycle. Because Pluto is at its critical 29th degree. And right when a planet is leaving a sign or entering into a new sign, that first degree or that last degree, there's often a very powerful energy to it. And it feels like there is one last truth this month, Scorpio, that is kind of blowing your mind a little bit. But also, you've been overthinking things. You're trying to figure something out, and when you finally do, it's like, oh, this isn't what I expected this to be. We do have the Seven of Pentacles. So again, your hard work is paying off this month. I do definitely get that for you with Venus and Jupiter coming together in Aries. That is happening on the 2nd, so this is something I think you are experiencing pretty early on. But you could be experiencing throughout the month as well. And I feel like you want to get to work on something. You know, I feel like a lot of you are wondering, like, is this idea going to be worth it? Is this spiritual calling going to be worth it? The answer is yes. I feel like it will pay off. Especially if that involves you moving or traveling. Again, I'm getting this sort of energy of like travel, retreat, going on a quest with the Eight of Cups. I feel like you're looking for happiness elsewhere. And that's part of you taking your happiness more seriously. And that could be physically relocating. That could be going to different places or connecting with different energies or just trying to find happiness in different ways. Because I'm looking at this Eight of Cups. There's been this leaky roof. You have these pots catching the water. But it's like something here just isn't working. And there's a lot of like temporary fixes. But I feel like you need to go somewhere else to really get your needs met. Whether that is literally traveling someplace else or doing something different. And maybe this is very new. Maybe you just suddenly have this sense of like, actually, I think I'm supposed to be doing this with my life. Or I think this is the next chapter I'm supposed to be going into. You will have a sense of that. A lot of us will actually have these sort of pivot points this month. We are definitely in a threshold of change in March. And for you, the new turning points, these new chapters could be very unexpected. And you're not very sure about them. It feels kind of unknown. It feels kind of scary. But I think you should follow up with that. Follow through with it, Scorpio. I feel like you're finding your happiness in unexpected places. Yeah, the Fool. The Fool with the Eight of Cups. Some of you just have to go. You have to take this leap of faith. And like, what I'm really getting here, Scorpio, is like you've been doing something you love. A lot of you actually do have something you really care about. Or there is something that still is meaningful to you or was once meaningful to you and is no longer meaningful to you, and you're now feeling called to go into a new direction, but that feels scary. But it's like, if you're being honest, the situation you're in just isn't emotionally fulfilling you the same way anymore. And I feel like that's why you need to get creative. That's why there's a big focus on creativity. Like, I feel like a lot of you want to be expressing yourself in new ways or creating in new ways or doing something new. And I'm getting a lot of raccoon imagery, and I know in the animal spirit deck I use, and I'll pull from in a moment, raccoon often talks about that mask, that sort of identity that we have built around what it is that we do, but there's often this kind of like yearning for something more. There's almost this emptiness that can come with it because you want to be innovative, you want to be inventive, you want to create new things. And you know, with the Eight of Cups, with Pluto entering into your 4th house in Aquarius at the end of the month, there really could be a move for some of you. Moving again. I'm getting that. with the Fool and with the Eight of Cups here, there could be a pretty big move you're making or planning. Or it could be something involving family and home. You're making a really, really big decision. And it's like you need to do this in order to be happy. You're not going to be fulfilled in the situation you're in. If this isn't about literally moving, it could be about like, actually, maybe I do want to have a family. Or actually, I want my home to feel really different. I want my life to feel really different. There's something about your lifestyle that is changing. And again, that makes sense with Aries energy actually too, because Aries energy is your routines, it's your health, it's your wellness, it's your daily grind. I feel like there's a lifestyle shift that is also happening in conjunction with all of these shifts. Any other messages for Scorpio? I'm thumbing through this moon deck, so I'm going to pull a moon card for you. What are the messages for Scorpio? What are the messages for Scorpio? Show us clearly. New moon in Aries. It's time to take action. This is so cool because we actually do have a new moon in Aries this month. That is on the 21st. And this is really a time to invest in good routines and habits. Need I say more? And looking down at the clock, holy shit, it's 3:33. So when I see this number, it's about body, mind, spirit. And it really is like the lifestyle number. It's like living in harmony and finding balance in these different areas of our life. Body, mind, spirit, or as I sometimes think of it, body, mind, and emotions. Because spirit is actually expressing itself in all three all at once. But yeah, with the new moon in Aries, it's time to take action. It's time to say yes to your passions and to the direction that feels most alive and feels good to you. I feel like you're hard at work on something. There's something creative. There could be something with writing that's coming in for some reason. We'll kind of get more specific with that in a second. But I feel like this new moon in Aries is actually a really beautiful one. Even though it is just in your 6th house, which a lot of astrologers would be like kind of boring, this one feels very uplifting. You feel very empowered with the decisions you are making, with your actions. You're taking very empowered action. That's really, really cool. Some of you are also committing to a meditation practice or recommitting to a meditation practice. I'm getting that as well. I thought this card came out before, actually. Void of course, moon. Nothing will come from this situation. And I know what this is about. It's like, if you're staying in a situation, Scorpio, and you're hoping that something is just going to change, like you're suddenly going to be happier in your situation, or your situation is going to improve so you can be happy in it, I kind of have to tell you, I don't think that's what's happening here. It feels like you have to go towards something. Okay? And if you are worried about something, there is also this reassurance, like, don't worry. Like, it's not, your fears will not be realized here. It's okay to take a risk. And in fact, we do have Uranus activated by Venus in Taurus, which is very impactful and important for you. There could be a sudden development, too, in your love life. Any messages for love? Any messages for love? Nine of Wands and Death. Something is finally coming to an end. There has been a period of stagnation and loneliness for a lot of you, or there's been a period of struggle. The struggle is finally coming to an end. Maybe for some of you there is a relationship that's ending, but I don't really get that sense, actually. It feels more like with the Nine of Wands and Death, it's like this period of hardship, this period of perseverance and waiting is finally ending. And that actually feels like a good ending, a very welcome shift. And I think that's happening around the 30th when Venus and Uranus come together in your opposite sign in Taurus. And I mean, Venus is very blessed in Taurus because it rules over Taurus. Any other messages? Any other messages? I kind of feel like, nope, Two of Swords. I kind of feel like I should pull an animal card for you now. What is the animal message for Scorpio? We have snake. Don't be afraid to let go of old selves to shed a skin. That's what I'm talking about. And I was talking about raccoon energy, but like this actually fits almost more appropriately, which is interesting. But kind of giving me more of a sense of how this is manifesting. You're shedding a skin. You've outgrown something. You've outgrown an identity. You've outgrown some sort of chapter in your life. I feel like on all levels, you are ready for something different, Scorpio. And there's this magic, there's this kind of cycle, there's this death and rebirth here. We have this kind of Ouroboros imagery. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? That's just a question I feel like I need to ask you. What are you waiting for, Scorpio? Any other animal energy, any other message or energy for Scorpio to embody? We have the wolf. What's interesting is that these are both symbols for your sign. Because we have Ophiuchus in your sign, which is the serpent. And wolf energy is one of the symbols for Scorpio as well. So I feel like you yourself are taking on new forms. You are becoming new forms. And with the wolf, it's like kind of this struggle of like, do I stay part of the pack? Am I a lone wolf? It's this sort of identity crisis. Like, who am I as a role and who am I as an identity? There's that conflict between role and identity. And again, that is what I was describing with that sort of raccoon energy. So it's interesting, even though it didn't come out, it's like what I'm still picking up with these two. And the wolf is also like this call to be of service. And to maybe even be a defender of something, to speak up for something. That feels important as well, using your voice. Funny how I see the nightingale at the bottom of the deck, and this is writing. There could be something with poetry, there could be something with storytelling or songwriting. I feel like a lot of you have, wow, black egg underneath that, the throat chakra. This thing that you need to do is share your voice in a new way. And there's so many different ways that could look. It could even be teaching. I feel like there's a new phase for you. There's a new role for you. And I don't feel like you're going to be fulfilled staying in the same role anymore, Scorpio. I feel like you kind of know something is ending and you need to go into a new direction. But it feels very powerful. It's scary. It's taking a leap of faith, but I want to tell you to go for it. Don't be afraid of this, Scorpio. This is really, really beautiful. And those are all the messages I have for you this month. I do hope that this was helpful. I hope it gave you the confirmation you needed to hear. I am sending my love your way. You can find all of my links in the description box down below. And again, I am holding a sale on all of my services if you use the code PIVOTAL in the month of March. I will be taking some time off. I'm actually going on a meditation retreat myself. Wish me luck. But if you want to book, I would just do that sooner. You can certainly book after March as well. But if you want to get on my schedule, just do that sooner. Don't know why I blanked out there at the end. Anyway, Scorpio, I am sending you many blessings, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.